Hi, Capricorn Sun and Rising. Welcome to your October 2024 Astro Update. It's Rena here. And guess what? Pluto's going direct in your sign. I'll get to that in a minute because I like to go down the list here. On the 2nd of October, we have a solar eclipse at 10 degrees of Libra, and this is falling in your 10th house of career. So I can say that October for Capricorns is going to be a very powerful period for you because the solar eclipse can activate career opportunities. This is a powerful new moon. It could shake things up, but it could be in a good way. And this could be the jump start that you have been waiting for. You might have a whole new world that appears before you in terms of what you believe your possibilities are. But there's like this date with destiny when we talk about eclipses, where beyond our own efforts on a conscious level, these other events can descend upon us and, uh, nudge us in a certain direction. Um, Interestingly, though, the South Node is engaged in this solar eclipse. So there's almost like this, it's almost like endings and beginnings kind of intermingled because the South Node is your karmic past. And so I think that if you receive any kind of opportunities, that it's important to, and maybe even like let's say they are offers or something like that, and your impulse is to go in a certain direction. Really question that because that may be the old way for you, and the solar eclipse is trying to put you into new territory. Actually, um, the North Node is transiting through your home sector, which means that the domestic side of life, if you have been neglecting that, that will be featured for you in some way in your life. So it might be more of a balance. Libra is all about balance with work and family commitments. And if you're somebody who doesn't have a family, I think that you might make more time for that and become, maybe this is a wake-up call for you with the solar eclipse in the 10th, that you need to kind of prioritize family. One thing I want to say is that I realize that not everybody wants children and wants that kind of lifestyle, but Capricorns want it more than most. Plus, it can be something different than that. Maybe it's like just not working as much and spending more time at home. Maybe you have fur babies. I don't know. But it's more balance, and that certainly is Libra's, what Libra is all about. On the 9th, Jupiter goes retrograde at 21 degrees of Gemini. This is very interesting because this is in your 6th house of work. And because you have Jupiter in this sector, this may have also given you many opportunities for work. Now, work and career, so the career is the 10th house, work is the 6th house. To me, work is like any job, is a job versus a career. So sometimes people aren't doing what they really want to do in life, but they need to make money, right? So they get a job. They might work some kind of job that's just not too demanding, and they just want to pay the bills. And when Jupiter transits this area for you, it's like you may never have to worry about that, because it's like you may have more work than you can even deal with. But when it goes retrograde, or I should say, even when it goes retrograde, it may not be, necessarily that you are not, that you're unemployed or anything like that. It could simply be that there was one offer that you could not take because there was something else going on, it may come back to you. But also, it's about going within. And with Jupiter, it's all about your ethical framework as well as your philosophy of life. You know, Jupiter rules the ninth house in astrology under the sign of Sagittarius. And so this is a really big one for Capricorn because you rule the 10th house of career. And so you have, you know, you've been dealing with Pluto in your sign for 15 years or more. And that has likely transformed many of you if you have been, I guess, if you have the awareness to allow yourself to be transformed and you don't refuse to just stay the same. And this could be a situation where this Jupiter retrograde is causing you to question, you know, your ethics. In Buddhism, they have a term called right livelihood, which means that just because you can get a job somewhere doesn't mean that you should be doing it. If it's something that doesn't really, if it's harmful for the public, if it goes against your spiritual values. So for people who are vegetarians, they're not going to work in a butcher shop. They're not, it's somebody who doesn't believe in getting high or drinking is not going to work in a liquor store or a pot shop. Because if they don't believe it, if they think that, you know, people should get high on life, they're not going to promote something that they think is harmful to people on any level. Maybe, you know, if it's not physically harmful, maybe it's mentally, spiritually harmful, so, or emotionally. So anyway, those kinds of things can kind of really make you philosophical about what it is. What, you know, I call the sixth house, I don't call it work for myself, I call it service to others, because we take it from that idea of service to self and being very selfish in terms of gain, from personal gain from whatever it is that we're doing. Because at a higher level, in my opinion, it really should be service to others first and foremost. And so that may come into your reality, but you may even experience some kind of benefit, even financial avenue to earn money with your work that you neglected to, you know, take them up on in some way. On the 11th, Pluto goes direct at 29 degrees of Capricorn, which is an intense degree in and of itself, the last degree, anaretic degree. And in Capricorn, in your sign, what has been the lesson of transformation for you? You know, if you were to reflect upon it, what do you think? Because you're never going to have this in your lifetime again, Capricorn. So it's pretty significant. It's worth paying attention to. I feel that this is going to ease things up for you from the 11th onwards, because when Pluto goes retrograde, it's really digging deep inside of yourself. And it can be, it's very cathartic and it's necessary, but it's also very intense, and it can be, you know, a little bit, I was going to say a little bit dark, but I just mean that it gets you in touch with those shadow aspects, and that can, you know, be more on the dark side, but you do come to the light eventually. So for the next 5 weeks until 11/19, savor the lessons that you have learned in your newly transformed, empowered state as you move forward, because then Pluto's going back into Aquarius on November 19th. On the 13th, Mercury goes into Scorpio, which I've been laughing at because Pluto is one of the rulers of Scorpio. So it's very scorpionic as we go into the second half of the month, which it always is when planets go into Scorpio. So for you, this is a friendly angle, a sextile, and it's a third house. And I'm sorry, no, it isn't the third house. It's actually the 11th house, but that is still a sextile. And this is the house of gains, meaning like from the work that you do, whether you work for somebody else, whether you own a business, the profits, if you will. So you may be coming up with ideas surrounding this. I also think with Jupiter retrograde in the 6th house, this could feature into that. It's also the house of friendships and groups, so you may be getting in touch with friends if you have kind of lost contact for a little bit of time. You know, during the summer, people are involved with their own things. Maybe they're on vacation. And then as the fall progresses, I know if you're in Australia or New Zealand, you're like, what? But I'm sorry that I'm so northern hemisphere centric. I can't help myself. But anyway, you might be getting in touch with people that you haven't been in touch with for a while for whatever reason. And on the 17th, Venus goes into Sagittarius. Now, this is a sign right before you, so it's the 12th house. So Venus is already in the 11th house. And I feel like for some people, when Venus is in the 11th house, they could possibly find a love interest while they're socializing with friends. And I think in a weird way, that can be one of the best ways to meet people. I was reading something online today and somebody was saying, oh, you know, I don't know what to do. I can't find anybody on this dating app. And, you know, like they didn't feel attractive. And I was thinking, oh, what does that have to do with it? But then I realized that you have to show your picture. And so it becomes, ironically, it can be more superficial sometimes to be trying to meet people online that way, because they have more of a tendency. I feel like you would have more of a tendency to like reject somebody just right off the bat. Whereas if you're talking to somebody in person, you might not be physically attracted to them, but you're picking up on other things about them, like the way that they, you know, talk, the way they think, their mannerisms, and that can make up for what you don't automatically see as, you know, total attraction, physical attraction. So anyway, perhaps you've met somebody there. If that's the case, you may be taking that, it wouldn't necessarily be a relationship, but that taking that romantic attraction and hiding it. 12th house is a hidden area because you don't want other people putting their 2 cents into your situation. It can also be working on some artistic project behind the scenes. On the same day, we have a full moon at 24 degrees of Aries, and this is falling in your 4th house of home and family. That was what I referenced earlier. I was talking about the North Node. Now, this will not be in conjunction with the North Node, but it will be in that same house, the 4th house. And and one more thing is that Venus in the 12th house, you can meet somebody who's your soulmate, I guess. That's what I would say. The 12th house is like past lives, karma. And the full moon in Aries in your 4th house really highlights the past for you, but not of other lifetimes, of this lifetime, of your childhood. It can allow you to see something and then release it. It can be connected with your mother. Maybe you hear news about your mother. This could be maybe selling a home. Something like that. Maybe even, I think in some cases it could be buying a home where you finally like close on a home. And then on the 22nd, the sun goes into Scorpio. So the sun goes into the 11th house. During this time, you may find that you're more social than you usually are, Capricorn. Of course, with Capricorns, it could be that you have an ulterior motive, that you want to network and do something for your business. So there's always that possibility. Okay, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings called my deep dive readings, which are an hour of natal chart analysis, an hour of transits for the upcoming, well, actually, I'm doing it throughout the rest of this year and 2025. I pick transits that I consider important to discuss in your chart. And the significance of that is that this is just a general reading, and your chart is highly important for your natal chart, I should say, is highly important to pinpoint when these transits will occur in your particular life. And that's called my deep dive reading. I have career readings, career life path readings, love readings, etc. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for listening. Bye.